everybody, ignore my hair and my face. I'm doing a sort of chat video with me on 5 things I wish I knew in high school and stuff I learned when I left high school.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
So the first topic that I would like to talk about is that grades do not define how smart you are. The things that you learn in school, you are being forced to learn. You are learning plenty of different subjects, and all at once it can feel overwhelming, and some things you're going to be better at than others. It's so important not to let your grades define your smartness and define how you are as a person. For me, I was the type of person in school, and I struggled with getting good grades. I struggled with learning in a certain way, like some people just naturally are able to do that. But for those of you who do struggle academically and fail, or you don't get the grades you want when you do tests and things, don't let that get you down, because I failed most of my GCSEs. I got my English with a 5, I got photography with a 5, and everything else I failed. But as long as you know that you've actually tried and done the best you can, then that is all that really matters. Don't feel like you're going to let down your parents, you're going to let down your teachers, because if anything, if you know you tried your best, then that is all that matters. It's important to know that when you leave high school, you are going to have a better opportunity to do something you actually enjoy, something you are good at, and you can make up for it. For example, like I said, I got 2 GCSEs, but I'm doing the college course currently, childcare level 2, and that will give me 4 GCSEs at the end of it, and I'm actually doing really well with it. It's probably the easiest thing I've ever done academically, whereas with maths, which I failed, I'm now having to retake that, and it's something I struggle with. But there's always a second chance to improve. You're always going to get more chances. So don't think that school life is the end of the world for you if you failed. And when you do go to college, you are choosing something that you actually are passionate for. I promise you, you will go far and do really well. Make sure that when you are picking your GCSE options, you're doing it for yourself and not because your friend told you to or your friend is doing it. So I feel like being influenced in school is quite a big thing by your friends or your peers. It does happen. It's important to remember that you're your own person and to just do what you feel comfortable doing, what you are going to enjoy and what you are going to be good at, and never make decisions for other people, because that is not okay. That is sort of what I wanted to say about that aspect on things. So when it does come to your GCSE exams, I know it is a really stressful time, but the reason that you are getting pressure put on you is by the school and the government, because they have to pressure the students because they want them to have a drive to do well, because it makes the school look well. But just know that GCSEs, yes, they do matter in some aspects, but honestly, failed most of mine and I'm doing well in my life. I'm getting 4 more GCSEs at the end of my course, and I'm retaking my maths, and it is not the end of the world. Or even if you fail everything, fail knowing you tried, because it's not like you didn't bother and you did still try. Failing isn't the end of the world, and there's plenty more opportunities for you to try again. So try not to stress over your GCSEs too much. The second thing I want you to know is that you are not ugly, you're not dumb, you're not crazy, you're not weird, and you are not a whore. Words are the type of words that float around high school and are used to try and degrade somebody and to try and, put power over somebody. And I want you to know that the only people that are going to use those words on someone are people who are insecure, lack security within themselves and their friendships. They are the types of people who they will see someone being themselves and they will get jealous because they don't know how to be themselves, because they are stuck in friendship groups where bullying is how they gain their popularity. Bullying, name calling is how they feel secure, because that's the only power they have over someone, you know, not because they can be themselves and they can be unique, but because they are actually lacking something that you have. High school is a hard time for everyone, and something I didn't really realise is that everyone is insecure. Everyone is going through a similar path. We are all in the same boat in high school. So you may think that by someone calling you ugly, they must think they're the best person in the world, but I want you to know they're actually not, and they are probably struggling as well, and they're putting stress on you to make themselves feel better. So the best thing that you can do is just walk away and put a smile on your face and just tell yourself, like, you're better than that, because you don't need to do that to feel better, and at least you are being yourself and you have good friends around you where you can all be yourself with each other and you don't care what anyone thinks. I think that's really important in high school. Of course, not everyone is going to like you, not everyone is going to understand you, and not everyone is going to find your jokes funny, but at least you can say that you went to high school and you were yourself, you were surrounded by friends where you could all be yourself, and you know, you didn't have any sort of issues with, you know, bullying other people to feel better. You can actually come out and say you were like a nice person in high school. You know, you didn't laugh at anyone, you didn't make jokes about people, you didn't call anyone ugly to make yourself feel better. I think that's way more important than, you know, being anything else. Just be yourself and remember that high school doesn't last forever. The things that people are saying to you are not true, and they are saying it because that's how they feel about themselves and they are projecting it onto you. I remember being in high school and, you know, you get told things like that, but I really didn't think it was true. I really thought these people, by how they acted, thought they were like the best, and they thought that they were like all this and that and the other. And it was only after high school I really realised it wasn't like that. It's that everyone's in the same boat, everyone feels insecure, everyone feels like, you know, they have to fit in, but some people, to fit in, unfortunately, will degrade other people to try and hire themselves, when in reality they aren't actually hiring themselves, they are just making themselves feel worse, putting others down with them, which is the most ugliest thing a person could do. So just remember you're beautiful, no matter what anyone says, no matter if, you know, you think it or not, you are. And one day you're going to look back and you're going to think, I'm so glad that I, you know, came out of that high school myself. Because even now at 17, I'm still learning to love myself. I'm learning to, you know, promote self-care into my life, and it has been a struggle because high school was so unmotivating for me to care for myself, because the way that people treated me and made me almost feel like I wasn't worthy to be like anything, you know. But that is totally not the case. I just want everyone that's watching this to know that. And if you are the type of person that projects out negativity on others to make yourself feel better, I just want you to like question yourself for a moment and think, why do I actually do that? Is that necessary? Am I doing that for selfish reasons? Like, maybe they feel like I do and I'm just making them feel worse. And like, how would you feel if someone was to call you ugly all the time or make you feel like you're a joke? Just remember that everyone is dealing with their own issues in and out of school, and it's important to just leave everyone alone. If you don't like someone, that is fine. You can have an opinion on someone, but just stay away from them, don't talk to them, and don't bitch about them, because that is not necessary when you could just not have them in your headspace, not talk to them, and then they're not in your life, so it shouldn't matter. Walk around with a smile on your face. If someone is trying to bring you down, just ignore them. Don't respond to anything they say, because at the end of the day, that is what they kind of want from you, a reaction to make you angry. They're doing it to upset you. So the best thing you can do is to just walk away. It's a lot easier said than done, but honestly, when you just walk around and you walk away with a smile on your face, that will then make them think, hang on a minute, I just said that to them and they don't even care. And they eventually will stop doing it because they can't gain a reaction out of you, which is something I learned in high school, and it did honestly help by just not reacting, not responding, ignoring them. They will get bored and they will get tired of doing it. But the third thing I want to say is that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to feel low. It's okay to feel unmotivated. It's okay to have days where you just cry. But what is not okay is to bottle them feelings up and not tell anyone and feel like you are just all alone. That is the worst possible thing you can do. I would recommend, because something that I didn't do in high school enough was share my emotions with really a lot of people, and I kept it, a lot of it, to myself. I wish I would have talked to someone about it. I did feel ashamed of how I felt, which is ridiculous now I look back in hindsight, because it is okay not to be okay. But I just wish I would have known that it was okay to feel like that, and it's not a crime, and it's not weird, and it's normal to feel stressed out, and it is normal to feel like you're in, situations that you can't escape. But the most important thing I want you to know is that you are not alone. There will always be someone to support you and listen to you and help you understand those feelings. And something I wish I'd have done more often, which I'm starting to do now, is to note down how I feel. And by doing so, you can then sort of almost try and work out why you feel like that. Because once you know why you feel like that, and you know how you feel with your emotions, you will then be able to deal with them so much better, because you will be able to understand your emotions, and therefore you'll be able to control them a lot easier, because you'll know why you feel like that, so you can try and change why you feel like that to enable your emotions to be a bit better and clearer to you, if that kind of makes sense. But that is just some advice. There's other methods, I'm sure, that you can use instead of that if you don't like that idea. Something else you could try is making a mood board, so like with colours. Get a piece of paper and just get loads of different things, like to make a collage of a mood board of how you feel. Like if you're feeling angry, for example, you could use the colour red. If you're feeling emotional, you could use blue. If you're feeling happy, you could use brighter colours, or write like a little diary and then burn it and release the negative energy from what you've written, release it into the universe, let the universe deal with it, so you don't have to anymore. And it's also good to get it out as well, instead of keeping it trapped to yourself. Another thing I wish that I knew was to surround myself with more positive people. Not saying my friends were not positive, because the majority of them did make me happy, but there were just a few toxic sort of friendships where I had to use all of my energy to try and make them happy, because they were always so sad and negative. And one of my friends literally would make up the craziest stories about things that were clearly not true, but I felt so bad, so I'd still try and help her even though I knew she was lying to me. And I got so caught up in her life that I forgot about my own. And then when I had my own problem, it felt like twice as bad as it normally would do, because I was so overwhelmed with everyone else's issues that I was trying to fix for them. I wasn't even focusing on myself. So try and surround yourself with people that are as positive as possible, and when they are down, you help them, but they're also there for you with that same level of help when you are feeling down, so you are supported equally. Friendships should be 50-50, just like relationships. It shouldn't be more one-sided than the other as the other person, and it should be equal. If you want a story time on that, then I will be happy to make one. So just comment down below if you want to hear about that. I will probably make a story time on that anyway, because it's kind of crazy. Number 4 is to be true to who you are and screw what everyone else thinks about. Then that is the best way to be, rather than pretending to be something or someone you're not, because you'll never feel happy with yourself knowing that you are just pretending to be this person. There's only one you, so be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Trying to every day think about ways that you can become better, and not saying you're not good enough, because everyone is good enough in their own way, but there's always chances where you can become better and better yourself, and there's always things that you can do to improve. So just always know that there's a higher level than the top. Don't make do with what you've got, and always strive to be better, and to try and be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And like I said, if they don't like that, then that does kind of sound like their own issue. Clearly just missing out, and they are clearly not being the best version of themselves to recognise the qualities that you have. That is because bullies have a hard time accepting others being who they are because they can't be themselves as it is, and they don't like seeing people shining because it makes them feel worse about themselves. So in order to feel better, they will then try and put you down because they don't want to see you shining, as they feel as though they are not shining in the same way that you are, and they want that, so they're going to try and put you down to try and build themselves to be better than you, when in reality that's not how it works. You'd be much better off if they just tried to be themselves, appreciated that everyone is different and everyone is unique, and then try to love themselves. And lastly but not least, I would just want to say that you need to make the most of high school, because even though I hated it, when you leave, I'm gonna be very blunt with you, and I will just say that everything kind of changes. Like, your whole life is gonna change, and you're not gonna have all the time in the world to do things that you might be doing now. You are gonna have a busy schedule, your friends are gonna have a busy schedule. You know, you might be at college or sixth form till a lot later than you were at high school. You might get a job, your friends might get a job, you're going to be going into different things in your life, different colleges, different like sixth formers, going on different paths. So make the most of the time you have to spend with the people that you care about the most in school, because trust me, it does not last forever. And I don't miss high school, but I definitely miss the time I had before assignments became real. It does all change when you leave, trust me. And it's not a bad thing either, because, you know, you're going to make new friends, but so are they. So you just have to be prepared that it's all a new change, but it's nothing to be scared of. If you want another video on that, I will happily make one as well. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite long and in-depth, but I feel like it needed to be said, and if it helps anyone, then that is all that really matters. That is why I did it, you know, to help someone, so someone could have something to listen to sort of give them a bit of a realistic chat about it all, because I know it's quite a sensitive topic. It's something that a lot of people might not be able to ask anyone about or feel comfortable asking, so they've come to YouTube to look it up to see what other people's experiences are, and that's fine, and that is why I did it. So I hope this has helped you. Let me know in the comments if you have taken anything from this, and if so, what you've taken from it, because that would mean a lot to me, just to know that it has actually helped someone. And don't stress about it too much, just take each day as it comes, and remember that you are worth it, and that it doesn't last forever, and you'll get through it. Okay, if I can do it, you can do it. So that's the main message I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!